Hook. The line at the grocery store was long, but what caught Jason's attention wasn't the wait, it was the cashier's trembling hands. As she scanned each item, her fingers shook so hard that the cereal box nearly slipped. Something inside him said, "Ask her." He didn't know it yet, but that simple question would uncover a story that would change both their lives forever. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button right now and show some love to her, because what you're about to hear will remind you how deep a parent's love can truly go. Jason Miller had been living life one grocery list at a time. After losing his wife, he'd learned to juggle fatherhood, work, and grief, all while raising his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Every Sunday, the two made their weekly grocery run, a small tradition that helped fill the quiet spaces left behind by his late wife, Emma. Jason wasn't one to talk much, but he noticed people. And that day, he noticed the cashier. She couldn't have been older than 24, with tired eyes that didn't match her youth. Her name tag read Sarah. Her uniform was pressed neatly, but her hands told another story. They trembled constantly. At first, Jason thought it might be the cold from the store's air conditioning, but as she reached for the scanner, he saw something deeper: fear. When their turn came, Lily placed her favorite box of cereal on the counter with a proud smile. "Hi," she chirped. Sarah forced a small smile back, but her voice cracked as she replied, "Hi there, sweetie." She tried to steady her hands, but Jason saw it, how she gripped the scanner a little too tightly, how her eyes darted toward the manager's office. Jason looked over his shoulder. Behind the glass, a heavy-set man in a vest was staring straight at her. His expression was cold, controlling. Jason leaned forward. "You okay?" he asked quietly. Sarah flinched. "I'm fine," she whispered, her voice almost breaking. She scanned the next item too quickly and dropped it. Jason instinctively bent down to help, but she froze and whispered, "Please don't." Jason straightened up slowly, a knot forming in his chest. Something wasn't right. The manager's door opened, and the man stepped out. "Everything all right here, Sarah?" His tone was too sweet to be genuine. "Yes, sir," she said, keeping her eyes down. Jason felt Lily's small hand tug on his sleeve. "Daddy, why is she scared?" He didn't answer. The manager watched them until Jason paid and walked out, but as he loaded the groceries into the car, he couldn't shake it. Those trembling hands. That look in her eyes. Later that night, while Lily watched a movie, Jason sat on the couch replaying the scene in his head. His gut told him that woman needed help. But how could he get involved? She was a stranger. Still, something inside him, maybe the part that had once watched his wife fight through pain and fear, refused to ignore it. The next day, Jason returned to the store. Sarah was there again, her hands shaking worse than before. Her eyes widened when she saw him. "You came back," she whispered. "I forgot something," he lied, glancing toward the manager's office. "You sure you're okay?" Tears pooled in her eyes. She shook her head slightly, barely noticeable. Then she slipped him something under the receipt, a folded note. Jason took it without a word, paid, and walked out. Sitting in his truck, he unfolded the note. The handwriting was rushed, uneven. "Please help me. He won't let me leave." Jason's pulse quickened. He looked back at the store. The manager was now standing by the entrance, watching him. Jason drove off but parked a few blocks away, his mind racing. He could call the police, but what if she was exaggerating? What if it wasn't what it seemed? But the desperation in her writing wasn't fake. He knew that kind of fear. He'd seen it once before, in his late wife, when her illness had taken away her independence. That night, Jason couldn't sleep. Around midnight, he decided to go back. The store was closed, but the parking lot lights were still on. He noticed a small car parked near the back exit, a woman sitting inside. "Sarah." He approached slowly and tapped on the window. She jumped, but when she saw him, relief flooded her face. She unlocked the door. "Jason," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't think you'd come." "Tell me what's going on," he said gently. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "He's my stepfather. He owns the store. When my mom died, he took everything, my ID, my money. Said I owed him for raising me. If I try to leave, he threatens to call the police and say I stole from him. He makes me work every day and takes my paycheck. Jason clenched his jaw. That's illegal. You don't have to live like this. I've tried, she sobbed. But he follows me. Watches me. I don't even have a phone, he took it. Jason looked around, making sure no one was nearby. Listen. I know someone who can help. He called a friend from the police department, explained everything, and within an hour, 2 patrol cars arrived quietly. They took Sarah's statement, and by dawn, her stepfather was in custody. When it was over, Sarah sat in Jason's car, staring out the window, exhausted. Why did you help me? She asked. Jason smiled faintly. Because someone once helped me when I thought my world was falling apart. Everyone deserves that chance. Sarah began to cry, not from fear this time, but relief. I didn't think anyone noticed. I noticed, he said softly. Sometimes the people hiding their pain are standing right in front of us. In the days that followed, Jason helped her find temporary housing through a community program. Lily adored her and often asked if Miss Sarah could come over for dinner. Slowly, Sarah began to rebuild her life. She found a new job, started taking classes, and smiled more often. Months passed, and one evening, as Jason and Lily were checking out at a different store, Lily spotted a familiar face. Daddy, it's Miss Sarah. Sarah was now behind the counter of a cozy local market, wearing a new uniform and that same shy smile, but her hands, Jason noticed, were steady. Hey, you too, she said warmly. Haven't seen you in a while. Jason grinned. You seem happy. I am, she replied, glancing at Lily. Thanks to you both. As they chatted, the store's owner came by and patted Sarah on the shoulder. Best employee I've got, he said proudly. Sarah blushed, then looked back at Jason. You know, I used to think people like you didn't exist anymore. Jason chuckled. I used to think the same thing. She smiled softly. Well, maybe we both needed a reminder. When they left, Jason looked down at his daughter, who was skipping beside him. See, Lily? Sometimes helping one person can change everything. She nodded. Like Mom used to say, kindness always wins. Jason's throat tightened, but he smiled. Yeah, sweetheart. It really does. As they walked into the evening light, Sarah watched from the store window, a silent thank you in her eyes. Life had been cruel to her, but one stranger's kindness had rewritten her story. And somewhere deep down, Jason felt his wife's presence smiling, too, because love, once given, never really dies. If you believe kindness can change lives, share this story, and tell me, from which part of the country are you watching this right now?